Well, here we are, guys. The official college football national championship. It is TCU and Georgia. Georgia opening this game 13-point favorites, big favorites according to any analytical model. Of course, Michigan was pretty heavy favorites over TCU as well. I am going to try and give my full breakdown of this game, how I see it playing out right now. The over-under at 62.5. I think there's value on the under. We'll talk about that in a second because you see both the semifinal games being really high scoring. I think that's mainly based on the matchup, mainly based on Michigan self-destructing, mainly based on Ohio State's elite offense. And this game just seems more defensive to me. But guys, I will give my official national title prediction. And I am predicting Georgia to win 31-24. The total being 55, well under the 62.5. So guys, when it comes to this game, we all know Georgia is going to have the major talent advantage here. I understand Michigan did as well against TCU, but it's much more severe with Georgia. I'm actually looking at an analytical model here on my other screen that simulates the game 5,000 times, and they've got Georgia winning 37-22. So it is a severe advantage for Georgia, according to any analytical model you look at. Guys, I really don't know what to say with this game. It just feels like if you actually watch that Michigan game, Max Duggan really did struggle to throw the ball, and I think TCU is not going to be able to take advantage of Georgia's semi-weak secondary, although they do have Ringo, possible top 10, top 20 pick in the draft. They've got talent there, no doubt. But in the area where Georgia can be had, which is the secondary, TCU is a big step down in terms of their passing offense compared to Ohio State's passing offense. Ohio State's passing offense was able to give Georgia some major issues. I personally think TCU is not going to be able to do that, and it's going to play a lot better for Georgia to where they will get up early, or it'll at least be closer because Georgia got behind Ohio State and they were trailing. It'll be a very close game early. It'll be lower scoring. I'll take the under in the first half, and I'll take the under overall because, again, I don't think TCU is going to be able to match what Ohio State did through the air in terms of really taking advantage of a Georgia defense that's a little lackluster compared to past Georgia defenses in the secondary. They've still got a great front seven, and we saw Georgia's front seven stonewall Ohio State a few times, and I think that's what's going to happen against TCU. So guys, my official national championship prediction here for this game is 31-24. Not the game we expected. I was talking to some Michigan people. We certainly thought it was going to be Ohio State, Michigan. It seemed like a lock. And then this happened. So, I don't know, guys. I'm looking at the FPI. You can see it. It's got Georgia 73% chance. I think the FPI has Georgia favorites by, honestly, maybe like 15 points. The FPI does not like TCU. And it is understandable. When you win a bunch of close games, it tells the analytical models that you're kind of getting lucky. It's a little bit of fluky. Of course, I do respect TCU for beating Michigan. This is kind of like an every week something different can happen in college football because you've got Michigan destroying Ohio State coming back, controlling Georgia, almost winning that game, and then TCU beating Michigan, who just crushed Ohio State. So really, we don't know, guys. I'm just going by overall roster makeup, talent, Georgia, veteran team. They've been here before. I'm not going to get into it, guys. I really am not. I'm going to say I am predicting Georgia to win this game. There's really no analytics to look at. I don't even know. You know what? I think a lot of people are placing bets right now on TCU, and it is understandable. And I do have TCU covering the 12.5 because it just seems like it's that kind of year. It seems like it's that kind of year where TCU keeps this game relatively close. The chalk says Georgia runs away with it. But I have faith because TCU's done it over and over again that they will keep this close. But there are a lot of people saying, well, they beat Michigan. Why can't they beat Georgia? I think they can't beat Georgia because Georgia's a significant step up in terms of talent. And then I do understand people saying, well, Ohio State hung with Georgia. They got crushed by Michigan. Guys, the transitive property week to week in college, it does not work. It's just a mosh pit. Like, you can't judge that and say, oh, because Ohio State got crushed by Michigan and then almost beat Georgia, and TCU beats Michigan, who crushed Ohio State, that means TCU is going to beat Georgia. Guys, it doesn't work like that. I respect TCU, and I think they cover in this game, but I have a hard time picking them based off of the talent disadvantage and the inability. I think TCU, in terms of their passing offense, I know they've got a first-round pick, a first-round receiver. I get Max Duggan is decent, but for most of that game against Michigan, his stats through the air were terrible. They were just not good. And it's not like Michigan has this super secondary. They've got a decent secondary, but overall, Georgia has a more talented defense than Michigan. So guys, once again, that is my final prediction. And then when it comes to Georgia's offense against TCU's defense, I think it's going to be a lot of running. I just have a feeling Georgia is going to run the ball really well this game against TCU. Michigan was really able to have their way against TCU's defense in the second half. They were trailing the entire game, but we saw J.J. McCarthy get some really long gains. Michigan very easily could have scored 50-plus points in that game. When you actually look at it, first and goal at the 1-yard line, they fumble, they turn it over. That could have been 7 points. There's a few other plays. Fourth and goal at the 2 on the first drive of the game. They could have kicked a field goal. They could have gotten the 2 yards and scored another 7 points. So Michigan really did. They got over 500 yards of offense. I don't think that bodes well for TCU against Georgia. But again, guys, this is just my personal pick. I mean, I have to, do this video. I got to finish it out at least. This will be it for college football here, guys. I might, maybe I'll do a preseason top 25 or something, but those are always so difficult, aren't they? Because with the transfer portal now, especially with the 2 transfer portal windows, we got another window coming up. We do not know how rosters are really going to look. But just on a lighter note, guys, I will say, I mean, I've been seeing people say that Penn State is the favorite to win the Big Ten next year, and it is crazy what's going on with Penn State. Penn State totally crushed a really good Utah team in the Rose Bowl. They're so impressive. And guys, Penn State has waited their turn. They've waited. Is next year the year they beat Ohio State? It is on the road, but Ohio State's breaking in a new quarterback, Devin Brown or Kyle McCord. Could Penn State be the favorite in the Big Ten if you've got Ohio State trending down? You've got Michigan possibly losing, Harbaugh not recruiting as well. Those 2 big-time programs, it's demoralizing. I said it, what was a worse loss? It's just both of those losses. Michigan, I mean, my goodness, the self-destruction in the first half. Ohio State, the self-destruction in the second half. Well, I guess Ohio State's wasn't really a self-destruction. Losing Marvin Harrison Jr., really the defense with Jim Knowles, it's disappointing. So either way, guys, this would be, guys, I can't, I don't want to say anything else. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, that is my prediction. And that's going to do it for this video. So, guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.